Hi, everyone. As part of our Astoria Mutual Aid Community Spotlight series, I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Miss Claudia Coger, a true Astoria community titan. Born in Sumter County, Florida, and raised in Hardeeville, South Carolina, she moved to Astoria, New York in 1955. She worked for 25 years as an assistant train dispatcher for the New York City Transit Authority. Ms. Coger is a lifelong community advocate, fighting for social welfare, tenants' rights, and education, serving as president of the Astoria Houses Residents Association. Believing in the potential of children and the opportunity of education, she has joined with New York City Kids Rise and their Save for College program, with the goal of raising $134,000. As a result of the Community Scholarship Campaign, every rising first, second, and third grader with a New York City Scholarship Account living in Astoria houses will receive an additional $1,000 for their college and career training. I'm so happy to have had the pleasure to speak with Ms. Coger about her GoFundMe campaign for the Save for College program. So please take a moment and listen to the insightful words of an amazing public servant, honored in 2016 by the New York State Senate as a woman of distinction, Miss Claudia Coger. Good morning, Miss Coger.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored. Well, those are two great responses to have in the morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm always thankful every morning I wake up just
Yes,
to be able to
most
start.
certainly. That's the first
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
So Miss Coger, you are just an amazing woman. I'm so happy to get a chance to talk with you. You moved to Astoria from Sumter, Florida in 1955. Is that correct?
Well, yes, I moved from actually from South Carolina.
So okay,
Uh,
so was that
right.
Sumter, South Carolina?
Yes, but I was born in Sumter County in Florida. That's
Okay. And
my origin.
where did you live in South Carolina?
I lived in a little place called Hardeeville.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm actually originally from North Carolina, so
Oh, okay.
just north of you. And you've lived in Astoria for 65 years, and so you can definitely be called a true Astorian. I've lived here for 15 years, and I thought I was, and then I don't even come close to how long you've been in this community.
Right, right. Well, I came here when I was 20. When I was 20 years old, I came to Astoria.
And what has it meant to be a member of the community of Astoria?
It's been interesting, put it like that. It had its good and bad and indifferences, as life does. As we live, we're going to experience all of those things. Um, but the um, the final achievement um, is what's very, very uh, true to my soul. Because without all of the things that we go through in life, our achievements is not successful. But we have to go through things in order to. I always tell my children, in order to have a testimony, you must have a test. And so this is what life is all about. So I've had my test and I have my testimony for a story.
Well, speaking of the trials and tribulations, if you will, that you've gone through with the community, you've been very active with social welfare and tenants' rights and education. Can you talk a little bit about that advocacy and the importance of that in a community like Astoria?
Well, yes, as you well know, I'm the mother of 7 children, and I was always interested in the educational part to make sure that the children are got the best that they could, are having grown up in in a segregated part of the world, and there was things that were deprived are, but I put my energy into my children to try to make sure that I would do the best that I could, that they would get what they needed in order to achieve their goals in life. And that wasn't just for my children alone. I actually worked in the system on behalf of the children in Astoria Houses. And education to me is a strong part of me, because I witnessed the years where we didn't have a vision. Actually, going forward in our lives, it's a vision as to how we could achieve we saw the doctors, we saw the lawyers, and we saw all of the different uh, places that you could go, but how could you get there? And that bothered me as a teenager, and bothered me so that I couldn't see beyond a certain vision, and I just started to make decisions that really impacted on my life later. And this is one of the things that this still sticks with me till this day. And that's one of the reasons why the Kids Rise is so important to me, because I believe that if we start early in with giving children the assets that they need, at least to have the vision that they can achieve, is most important to their lives. And that's why with meeting with Deborah and Bishop Taylor, and we talked about things like this, and it really hit my heart. And we've been working on it ever since. And it's just an awesome thing, just to see how people have connected to it now and is supporting it, to give the children a vision, so they'll have a vision that they can achieve, even if they don't go to college. They may have other things that they want to do, to go, into their own businesses or whatever the case may be. But they'll have a vision while they are moving there, and that'll give them the strength to achieve their goal.
So let's talk a little bit about your work with Deborah Allen and New York City Kids Rise, and the Community Scholarship Campaign. Can you explain a little bit about how the program works?
Yes, that I think it's such an awesome vision, because if we don't invest in the future of America, and this is America, if we don't invest in it in some way, then we're doomed to fail. And it's not necessarily whether we'll fail as a country, but we'll fail individuals. And I think that Kids Rise is a very encouraging program that can enhance the thoughts and the minds of the children early on in their lives, and it gives them strength to strive to achieve.
So for some of the people that may be watching that haven't heard of the program, so basically, they're like, is like $100 put into an account for a kindergartner, first grader, and second grader, and your goal is to put even more in there, up to $1,000 each. Can you talk a little bit about that, about how the program works?
Yes. So with the when we started out, and we came up with the $100 to start the program, and it was successful. And the diligent work on behalf of Kids Rise, and but we were just talking, as we do. Deborah and I, we do a lot of talking, and we was just talking about improving on it. And she came up with the figure, and me with my big mouth, I said, well, let's double it. And we talked about it and we slung it around, and then we came together and said, well, let's go for it. And one of the things that really gave us the strive was in our conversation, we were saying, without knowledge, people perish. And we use that as a slogan to improve on knowledge, and start at an early age with the children. And that's where we are. We're steaming.
And so your goal is, in order to put $1,000 into each account, there are 134 kids in Astoria houses. Is that correct?
Yes, that's our count.
So you're raising 134,000.
Yes.
And as of last night, when I checked, you're around 95,000 right now. So and you've done that in less than a month. So congratulations.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. But you've got a little ways to go. So so your goal is you're a little ways away. So I think the real call out to the community is, this is an investment in the community, and where it really is, does take a village to raise a child, if you will. It really does take community involvement. So we're really pulling for you as to hit that 134,000 mark, and because who knows where you'll go from there. Yeah.
Exactly. I think we may not see the ultimate goal of our vision, but the footprints are there, and that's what we're working on now, to make sure that the footprints are there, and hopefully, and that it'll catch on fire and continue to make a difference in the lives of the children as we go forward in this world.
So just to clarify really quickly, when you do raise the 134,000, and so $1,000 will be deposited into each child's scholarship account, right? And then when they graduate from high school, they'll have a financial asset that they can use towards college. Is that correct?
Yes, and the accounts are open. They're still open so that they can increase with the parents or donors who want to support this going forward. It's open, and you don't just have to stop at 1,000. Just continue to support the vision.
Because the goal is that if a family has a savings, has an account, the scholarship account, that the hardest part is actually starting, right? Like starting the idea of actually investing in your child's future, or investing in your future in general. So once you've established this, the thought is that the parents then have an incentive to keep investing. Is that correct?
Most certainly.
And so you've got this great partnership with New York City Kids Rise, and also an organization called Urban Upbound.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your partnership with them?
Well, I just think it's just an awesome part of my life, that that connection was made. Well, I made like I told you, I came to Astoria when I was 20, but it was later on in life when I I met Bishop Taylor's his father, and um, and from there it was like a connection in our our intentions was to help the community in whatever way we possibly can and could. And that connection went on for years, and then connected with Bishop Taylor as he matured in life, and then Deborah connected with Erda. We at that time it was Erda, and I was there for the ribbon cuttings and the things like that, you know. So I know it's the act of God. It's not something that I made up because it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of effort and energy on the part of all of us to reach the stage where we are now. It's dedication, and I'm extremely grateful to be a part of it, and most certainly making a difference in Northwestern Queens.
And Urban Upbound, was that originally the East River Development
Yes,
Alliance?
it
Was that
was. Yes,
okay?
it was.
Okay,
Hmm.
and so that's been active in the community for a very long time.
Yes, yes.
And so when we talked about the importance of the community getting involved in a program like the Community Scholarship Campaign, how important are partnerships in the community with the community leaders, community advocates, even government officials and nonprofits like New York City Kids Rise? How important is it for the entire community to really partner together?
It's most important. Uh, as you said, the statement is it takes a village to raise a child. Uh, the village is only as good as our investment. I'm not talking about monetarily. I'm talking about our spirit and the cohesiveness of a community. All of these things are the strength that empower the stability of a community. And it takes all of us, all of them, to make it happen, working together. I know with teeth and tongues, they'll fight, you know, but they have to live in the same body, you know. So that's something like what community, you know, we may fight, but we still have to live in the same body and have the mind to make it the best that we possibly can.
You know, I'm reminded of some a phrase somebody once told me. They said, you know, you don't have to like somebody to love them, right? Like
Exactly.
there's a lot of people that we don't have to necessarily like, but
Exactly.
you have to love them,
You
and I
have
think,
to love them.
and that's
You
a
most
part of being a
certainly,
community.
that's the ultimate goal is in our quote the scripture, because the scripture says, oh, no man nothing but love.
Mm. Well, I've got just a couple more questions, and again, thank you for taking your time to speak with me. But so if somebody like me was considering donating to the GoFundMe account, the scholarship campaign, what would your message be to someone like me or to a potential donor?
I would, well, first of all, I would thank you for listening. And my message would be, um, if you invest in solid ground, you're you're going to get, if you're on a solid ground, you're going to get um, produce. And this is what we are talking about. We are talking about producing uh, educational in the lives of some people who not necessarily uh, has the vision. But I think from people who are investing in it, they have the vision that this too can happen. And I would encourage you to search it out and come aboard.
It really is that whole faith of a mustard seed, right?
Yes,
You might
yes,
not be able to see it, but if you invest in it, if you sow that seed, um,
you're
you
gonna reap
you're gonna reap.
what what you sow.
So that brings me to the closing, and this is a question I ask anyone that just inspires me, and you certainly are an inspiration. And that is, it's a real simple question, and I think I know the answer, but what gets you up in the morning? What puts that infectious smile on your face and gives you the drive to be an advocate and to really work for your community? What gets you up in the morning?
I I've come to understand that longevity is a gift from God for one thing, and we all have a purpose. We have a purpose, and just to wake up and be able to breathe is another day just to serve, and that's what I am. I realized that I was born to serve, and that keeps me going. Good, bad, and indifference, we're going to get something out of it. You may not like apple pie, but if that's all we have to eat, let's enjoy it together.
That's great. That's great. Now I'm hungry for apple pie. But so I think just have one more quick question if you have time. I think we have one more minute, so before you need to leave. Can we ever share what? Oh yeah, this is so as community donors, what is the message that we're sending to children by making a contribution to their future? So I asked you for your message to me, but what is my message now to children by when I invest in their future?
One of the things, and one of the things I like about New York Kids Rise is that they're open. It's not this organization that takes the money, and but they are wide open as to the achievements and going forward. And it's not just for today. It's a future vision going forward, and and this is um, as we were talking about the community, we're not talking about just Northwestern Queens. We're talking about in our day and time right now, our community is what goes on in the entire world. And we all need to be vested in going forward in one way or the other. And I think this is a great way to encourage. We have a high dropout of our children in Northwestern Queens in high school, especially in the Black and Puerto Rican community. And this to me, that's a loss, because it's so many good-minded and positive-minded young people, but they don't have a vision, and that causes them to make bad choices. And this is what we're trying to do, trying to give them the encouragement to hang in there and work hard and move toward your goals in life. Make good choices.
That's great. That's great. Well, Ms. Coger, um, thank you for taking this time to speak with me, and have a blessed day.
Thank
And
you.
I definitely, you know, um, just want you to know how much you mean to me as a community leader, and how inspiring you are. And thank you for what you're doing, and keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
You're just such an amazing person. So
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. It's been my pleasure. And thank you.